everybody. It's your happy host, Modesty, and welcome to another week of CSL's Talk That Talk podcast, where I hit it and quit it in 5 to 10 minutes. Men, I don't want you to think that this podcast is all about women, because you are the focus of today's Talk That Talk podcast. So, men, this one is for you. The topic for today is Just Call Me Spenderfella. I want to talk about male shopaholics. Shopping and the way it's being conducted in the 21st century has undoubtedly experienced a major makeover, and new ways of making it more convenient are steadily on the rise, as we can see. The downside of it is that the existence of smaller businesses, mom and pop operations, and neighborhood stores that are easily accessible at the drop of a hat are closing at alarming rates and being threatened, unfortunately, by larger retailers and the online shopping craze. Regardless of how it's done, if there's an item you really want, men, women are alike in that area as well, and you feel you can't live without it, you will do whatever it takes to get it, whether you really need it or not. It can easily be said that men and women alike have shown a great deal of favoritism when it comes to a certain online site that has taken the online shopping world by storm, and it starts with an A, as in Amazon. I believe that Amazon has become a best friend to avid online shoppers. Their membership is enormous and growing, and their CEO just happens to be one of the wealthiest men in the world. Now, when it comes to shopping habits, men and women are equal because we're captivated and influenced by the same words, such as 50% off, 2 or 3 for 1 sales, 75% off, now you're talking, semi or biannual sales, and holiday specials as well. I mean, it's only logical and rational, because who doesn't want to save money or catch an incredible sale that you can talk about for days with your friends or your besties? Pardon me, please. Men, when you're constantly buying, then money is going out, of course, and tangibles or products are coming in. Now, it's one thing to go shopping and end up with 3 or 4 bags, but it's another thing when you end up with 3 or 4 bags every other day of the week, and sometimes on the weekends. This kind of shopping behavior meets the criteria for being called a Spenderfella, who is, in other words, a male shopaholic. To be or not to be a shopaholic, men? That is the question. Now, why do men buy things they don't need? Maybe a 5-letter word can tell us. This 5-letter word starts with a P and ends with an E, as in pride. It could be the pride you feel of impressing your buddy or coworkers, because it's very difficult to resist. Number 2, for the heck of it shopping is what I like to call it, just because you can afford to and for no other reason at all. Or advertisements seem to hypnotize you by bringing you under their control. You see it. It looks good. You hear about it. And you convince yourself that you have to have it when you really don't. Or could it be that you're trying to keep up with the Joneses? You know, your friends or family members. Because you're tired of hearing about constantly how they've bought this or how they've bought that, where they've been, or how much this or that cost, and eventually you allow it to get to you after a while. Or it could be the same reason many women buy things that they don't need, because they're depressed, which is the result of a which could be the result, rather, of a job loss, a relationship breakup, marital problems, a family crisis, a hostile or negative working environment, or you're just simply lonely. I mean, very lonely. Now, shopping has a way of relaxing a person emotionally, and it's stimulating because it gives you a false and a temporary sense of peace and serenity. pardon me, but when the bills come and indebtedness begins to stare you in the face and say, what are you going to do about me? Because if you choose to ignore me, I'm going to, without hesitation, communicate with your credit score, then, men, you become angry and frustrated. And it's time to go already, okay? Part 2 of the conclusion of Just Call Me Spenderfella, Male Shopaholics, will be discussed in next week's podcast. Thank you so much again for joining me for this week's podcast. PowerhouseLifeCoaching.com is available for you because we are the plug for motivation, activation, and transformation. And you can feel like a star with a Celebrity Spotlight Live promo interview to help market and promote yourself, your product, or your business. Just visit www.csltalkshow.com. In addition, I'm available as a keynote speaker, as a relationship panelist, and for seminars or workshops. Email me at celebrityspotlightlive@gmail.com. That's the email address you can send any comments or remarks to as well. This is your host, Modesty, signing off as I usually do, saying it's good to be important, but it's more important to be good. Enjoy your day.